Hey guys, welcome to this week's Nugget. So during the quarantine season, I've been listening to the late Ravi Zacharias, and this is a pretty cool guy. If you haven't watched his sermons, go check him out. He's very insightful. And if you haven't listened to the other videos at Northgate, please go check them out. Very good videos, very wise people there, like Justin. So I digress. In one of his sermons, so I'm going to be picking out from one of his sermons, he talks about pleasure. And it's funny how in church we mostly hear sermons about what's it called? Pain, suffering, endurance. Yes, these things happen, but 90% of the time they're not going to be happening. It's just that the suffering stands out so much that we remember it was suffering. So today we're going to talk about pleasure. And you see, pleasure is a pretty tricky topic considering there's good pleasure and then in Afkamali is still not good pleasure. You're not sure where it lies. So before I even give you the principles to good pleasure, I'm going to give you the definition of sin. And so Ravi Zacharias quotes a lady called Susanna Wesley. And this is how she describes sin. She says, "If anything weakens your reasoning, impairs the tenderness of your conscience, obscures the sense of God, generally, if anything increases the power of flesh over the spirit, that becomes sin." So it isn't a matter of right or wrong. I think you have wisdom. I'm sure you've understood that. So in this sermon, he gives 3 principles, like how you know this pleasure is good or bad. The first principle is, if anything refreshes you without diminishing you or distracting you from your purpose, then that's a good pleasure. So in that first principle, you'll have to know your purpose. So I know it's harder. I joke kila time watu know your purpose, find your purpose. It isn't as easy as some people make it look, but what's it called? It's something that you can sit down and in our Sunday service, the Zoom meeting, there's a series we're doing, which is called Life Basics. If you don't have it, check it out, and please come for Zoom. And there, we talked about just writing down, what do you think, or what has been recurring in your mind? And there's this guy who talked about your shape. The shape stands for S, spiritual gifts. If you're like talented in anything, that's something check out. And what's your heart? Sometimes you might be talented, but your heart isn't there. So check your heart and your abilities. And P is for personality. And E is experience. But we digress. Let's go back to the principles. The second principle, any pleasure that jeopardizes the sacred right of another is illicit. That's point blank. All right, principle number 3. Principle number 3 is a verse coming from Proverbs chapter 25, verse 16, which says, "Do you like honey? Don't eat too much, or it will make you sick." That's what I had for you guys this week. So see you next time.